Former President Donald Trump says his Mar-a-lago home has been raided by the FBI.
My only goal was to ensure the integrity of the vote.
Hi, welcome back to today's segment of How You Should Feel About This. In our segment, How You Should Feel About This, we don't talk about truth nor facts, just how you should feel about this. In today's segment, we just found out that President Trump's Mar-a-lago residence was raided by the feds.
Former President Donald Trump says his Mar-a-lago home has been raided by the FBI.
Yes, the FBI.
The former president has since released a statement saying in part, quote, "These are dark times for our nation as my beautiful home, Mar-a-lago in Palm Beach, Florida, is currently under siege, raided and occupied by a large group of FBI agents. Nothing like this has ever happened to a president of the United States before." The statement goes on to say, quote, "They even broke into my safe. What is the difference between this and Watergate, where operatives broke into the Democratic National Committee?"
And I don't understand. I hope this isn't over the January 6th incident.
U.S. congressional committees heard more damning evidence about Donald Trump's apparent attempts to overturn the results of the 2020 election.
Because truly, that was just a misunderstanding. And to prove it was a misunderstanding, I'm going to recap some of the things that Trump said during his January 6th speech. But before we go through the tape, please do me a favor. Hit that like button and apply pressure to that subscribe button. Apply pressure to that subscribe button. Run the clips.
We will never give up. We will never concede. It doesn't happen. You don't concede when there's theft involved.
Now, I understand. Some people want to blame the January 6th incident on Donald Trump, the president. I promise, he didn't mean for those heinous acts to occur. I think some of Trump's words just went over people's heads.
We will not take it anymore, and that's what this is all about.
Former President Donald Trump, he was one of the funniest presidents we ever had. He liked to joke a lot.
You know, I say sometimes jokingly, but there's no joke about it.
That's a start, and many times he was just fighting, so you don't have to be silent.
We will not let them silence your voices. We're not going to let it happen.
So you can joke too, even when he talked about boxing.
Republicans are constantly fighting like a boxer.
He didn't mean real boxing, silly.
With his hands tied behind his back. It's like a boxer.
It was a metaphor.
They're not taking this White House. We're going to fight like hell, I'll tell you right now.
They even wanted to make it like the president tried to get Mike Pence hurt.
I just spoke to Mike. I said, Mike, that doesn't take courage. What takes courage is to do nothing. And then we're stuck with a president who lost the election by a lot.
Yes, the former vice president, his buddy.
Witnesses described how Mr. Trump and his aides put pressure on the former Vice President Mike Pence not to validate Joe Biden's victory.
Now, that lady has a nice voice, but she sounds like she might not even be from the U.S. So she might not understand that she might not even have the right information. God bless her heart, and I get it. Some people might not understand that when Trump talks about strength,
you have to show strength and you have to be strong.
He just means he doesn't want you to be weak.
Because you'll never take back our country with weakness.
Not violence.
Like a boxer.
Strength to fight.
We're going to fight like hell, I'll tell you right now.
For democracy.
I was fighting to defend American democracy.
And
my only goal was to ensure
for the integrity to vote.
For the integrity of the vote.
You see, he even spoke about the heinous acts of January 6th.
I would like to begin by addressing the heinous attack on the United States Capitol.
Numerous times.
I would like to begin by addressing the heinous attack yesterday. Yesterday is a hard word for me.
I mean, how many times does the man have to say it?
Good. Take the word yesterday.
You're not perfect. I think some people just don't like Trump, and they have it out for him. They try not to hear.
And we want to be so...
that he tells everyone to be nice.
Nice.
Be nice.
We want to be so respectful of everybody.
And some people just don't want to understand that Trump's January 6th speech.
And many of you have traveled from all across the nation to be here, and I want to thank you for the extraordinary love.
It was really about love.
That's what it is. There's never been a movement like this. forgiveness ever, ever for the extraordinary love.
Yes, love. That's why I think it's unfair to blame the heinous acts of January 6th on President Trump, especially since clearly it was a misunderstanding and some people just got too emotional and took things too far, like this guy.
These motherfuckers are traitors!
And this guy. And this guy. And this guy. And this guy.
Pence Cave, we're gonna drag through the streets.
And this guy. The misunderstanding, it doesn't care about gender.
What we do have
This woman too.
is a massive amount of pissed off people like I am.
Now, there is something that I heard that I want to talk about.
There's something else President Trump has never acknowledged: the names and the memories of the officers who died following the attack on the Capitol.
Now that's just another misunderstanding. You see, Trump, he didn't mention the dead officers because really, they're not dead. They will always live in our hearts. But I do have some good news.
Someone says it is a raid, but what you picture, FBI agents with guns drawn, turning over furniture, busting down doors, and that's not how this has been described to us.
Some people say the feds raiding the former president's estate really is no big deal.
And what we're hearing right now, and again, it's still early, that this was not a search warrant in connection with the January 6th investigation.
That the feds, they were just looking for some archives.
But what we're hearing is that this is related to the missing documents. Of course, that's a National Archives case.
For a museum, I hope so, because I'm really looking forward to President Trump doing this all over again in 2024.
We're going to fight like hell, I'll tell you right now.
Now, before I go, I'd like to give a quick shout out to one of my favorite politicians, the next in line, Herschel Walker. Well, anyways, you know how we like to end our segments of how you should feel about this, with that water. I see you here next time on How You Should Feel About This.